Welcome! Today we're going to talk about this beautiful 2017 Tesla Model X 75D that we have for sale. If you're in the market for a mid-size crossover with third row seating that's 100% electric, there's not a lot of choices, especially in the pre-owned market. But the Model X is a fantastic choice. I think it's probably one of the best mid-size EV crossovers out there. I'm a Tesla owner myself. I have a Model 3. We deal in lots of pre-owned Teslas here at Infiniti of Tacoma. We've sold hundreds of them. Including lots of Model X's. I love the Model X. It's got unique styling and it's got these really cool Falcon wing doors, which is unlike anything else on the road. These things are so awesome. This is a nice example, clean Carfax. Let's take a look over the software screen right here. So this is a 75D. So Tesla's changed the way they name their vehicles now. Now they have like a standard range, long range. Actually, recently, Tesla actually just reintroduced a standard range Model X. But still, those are around $80,000. So this is a little bit more accessible price point on this pre-owned one than a brand new one for some people that can't afford an $80,000 car. So 75 stands for the size of the battery pack. It's a 75 kilowatt hour battery pack. You can see there's other Model X's like with 85 or 90 or 100. That is in relation to the size of the battery. When fully charged, you have a range of about 240, 250 miles. Very similar to my Tesla Model 3 standard range. Obviously, you can get longer range versions of the Model X. For me, I mainly use my Model 3 for commuting and being able to get a full charge overnight at home. I rarely go over under 100 miles of range. But Tesla has an amazing supercharging network. If you do want a road trip in this thing, you can hit this button right here, and this will show you all the superchargers. And there's level 1 chargers, level 2 chargers, and level 3 chargers. The level 3 is the superchargers, and there's a ton of them. In fact, they just actually added these new 250 kilowatt superchargers in Tacoma at the Tacoma Mall. So they're constantly adding more chargers. But the other thing that Tesla has that can help with range anxiety, because that's something that people have to deal with EVs, is Tesla has an amazing thing called a trip planner. And as far as I know, no other EV by anyone else by Tesla has this amazing trip planner. So basically what you do, it's very simple. You just put where you want to go. So we have about 104 miles of range. So I'm going to put it in Spokane because I know we'll not make it on one charge. So you can see here, Spokane's 233 miles. The trip planner will figure it all out for you. It'll figure out how far you need to go and where you need to charge. So see, it figures out where you need to stop, how much range you'll have when you get there, how long to charge for, and how much range you'll have. So you stop, it'll charge 2 times, and you'll get to Spokane with about 12% of battery left. And the trip planner is very accurate. It takes into a lot of things into consideration. It takes into consideration outside ambient temperature, tire pressure, elevation. Obviously, you're gonna have to go over a mountain pass to get to Spokane, so it takes that in all the consideration. So you're not gonna have you're never gonna have to deal with a situation where you're not gonna have enough range to get to the next charger if it says you have enough range. So that's the amazing thing about the trip planner, and that really does help take away range anxiety of owning a EV. So even though this is not a 100D or a long range version of the Model X, you can still see you can road trip in it. Yeah, you might have to stop for a few short breaks, but I like stopping at the supercharger. You can get a cup of coffee, let the dog out for a walk, stretch your legs. Usually they place them pretty nicely in areas where there's shopping centers, Starbucks, and things like that. We have this amazing parking camera, great for visibility. And with Tesla's over-the-air updates, the infotainment system's constantly improving. They're adding features. The display is changing, just kind of like your iPhone. You're getting updates on your iPhone and iOS, and it's getting better. It's gaining features. Same thing with this Model X. Even though it's getting older, it is getting better in a lot of ways with the over-the-air updates. See, they've added a lot of things like Disney Plus, YouTube, Twitch. A lot of these weren't available when this first came out in 2017. They're adding video games. They're adding new features to the toy box. It actually can do a Christmas show, a light show flapping its doors around and stuff like that. Pretty cool. I'm not going to do it right now. Maybe I'll do it more towards Christmas time. Okay, let's take a look at the build sheet, because back in 2017 there are a lot of options on the Model X. So specs. So this has no accessory hitch, no audio package. It has the autopilot, Autopilot's traffic aware cruise control, which allows the vehicle to brake and accelerate in its own lane and steer. I'll show that to you shortly when you take this thing for a little spin. We have the black brake calipers, no cold weather package. We have the dark ashwood decor, GPS enabled home link. We have the black textile interior. It has a standard interior package. This is a deep blue metallic paint. No spoiler. It does have the smart air suspension, and this also has the optional third row seats, which is really nice. No tow package, dark headliner, and 20-inch silver wheels. The bumper-to-bumper warranty has expired, but Tesla has a lot of warranty on its drive units, which are basically its electric motors and its battery pack. So you have unlimited mileage warranty till September 29th, 2025. So still a lot of warranty left in the batteries. And the batteries are pretty robust. These have been out long enough where we know how long they last. Battery degradation is fairly low. There's Model S's, which basically use the same battery and drive units as the Model X, with 500. Some have 1 million miles on them. The one with 1 million miles, I think, had the battery pack changed, but it's just amazing that the vehicle's still going. You know, the batteries aren't designed to be replaced. It's like an engine in a car. The batteries should last 150, 200,000 miles, maybe longer. Battery degradation is about 1% a year, so about 10 years old, you'll still have 90% battery capacity. When it's 20 years old, you still have 80% battery capacity. Beautiful textile interior. Look at this huge windshield. I've never seen anything like this in any other vehicle. It's really cool, and it gives you amazing visibility. Then you have these automatic opening doors, and then you have the amazing storage as well. So much to talk about on this Model X. Yeah, so the doors are really nice. You can just hit that button, you hop in, put your foot in the brake, the door closes. You don't even have to turn it on. You put it in drive and you get in it and go. It's that easy. And since there's no engine up front, you have all this extra storage space. That's pretty substantial. The Model X is also considered to be one of the safest vehicles on the road. One of the safest crossover SUVs you can buy. Very low rollover risk because the weight of the batteries is so low. It's like an anchor keeping it planted to the road. There's these awesome Falcon wing doors. A number of ways to open and close them. They have sensors on them, so if you're parked really close next to another vehicle, or if you're in a garage, there's sensors all over, so it won't hit the roof of your garage. It won't hit other doors. So depending on where you are, they will open a little bit differently. I have a power adjustability on the seat back here. I'm 6'2". I had that front seat adjuster for my height. I'm still fairly comfortable back here. Good amount of space. Then on top of that, this has usable third row seats. I was actually doing a video yesterday showing the third row seats in the Model Y. The Model Y is a smaller Tesla SUV. It's a compact crossover, which does have optional third row seats, but I can tell you, there is no way I could fit in those third row seats in the Model Y. Absolutely no way. Where the Model X, I would definitely be able to sit back there in relative comfort. People always get confused on how to fold the seats down. There's these little buttons right here, and that's how you fold the seats down on the Model X. So when you have the second row captain's chairs, they fold forward, but they don't fold down. But you also have more storage space under here. Oh, Detail should have done a little bit better job cleaning that. So of dual electric motors, a motor in the front and a motor in the back, you have all-wheel drive for great performance. Talking about performance and all that stuff, let's get behind the wheel and take it for a little spin around the block. All right, here we go. We're taking this thing out for a spin. 2017 Model X 75D. And the one thing you'll notice, I think, right away when you get behind the wheel of Model X is this huge windshield. Look at all this visibility. It is absolutely amazing. So quiet, so comfortable. And the amazing thing, even though this Model X is a 2017, I can tell you, there are a lot of vehicles that are 2022 and 2023 that feel dated compared to this 2017 Model X. This is how advanced this thing is. This is how far ahead Tesla is with everyone else. I mean, when you get in this thing, you feel like you're in the Star Trek Enterprise, and then you get into an old gas-powered car, you feel the vibrations of the engine and those old school buttons and knobs, you feel like you're like in a Model T. Complete different. And they do have these nice sunshades. Nice segue, guys, where the sun's kind of getting a little bit bright, so you can kind of position them a little bit to kind of block out the sun, as you can see. But the nice thing is, with an electric vehicle, it's completely smooth, very, very quiet. You can hear a little bit of whine from the electric drivetrain, but it's very, very quiet, and there's only one gear. So you don't feel the shifting of gears. It is so smooth. And it's a lot of fun to drive. I mean, with the weight of the batteries down low, even though it's an SUV, this thing handles very nicely, no body roll, this thing feels planted. And you get very brisk acceleration. I think 0 to 60 is right around a 4 or 5 second range for the 75D. I'll see if I can find acceleration information and post it up on the screen here for you. But this thing is very quick. It actually feels like it might be a little bit quicker than my Model 3 standard range. But my Model 3 only has one electric motor, it's rear-wheel drive, where this has two, so it's like having two engines. Then you have the autopilot, the amazing traffic aware cruise control, and where a lot of advanced ADAS systems or advanced driver's assistance systems on other brands are really only usable on the highway, I can actually get the autopilot to work on roads like this. But remember, these are developed for the highway, so when you do use them on roads like this, you have to be extra diligent and pay attention. There's a stock right here. It's kind of like, they're a little bit different on the newer Model X's, but on the old S and X, the autopilot stock, the cruise control stock is right here. Kind of hard to see. All right, we're probably getting out of the sun, so we'll put that sunshade back there. Got a green light. Yeah, no issue at all getting to 60 miles an hour. Obviously, this is not a Plaid. We actually do have a Plaid coming in. I'm excited about that, a Model S Plaid. But this thing is very quick in its own right. And with electric motors, you have instant throttle response. There's no minute, split second while the engine has to rev up and the transmission has to hunt for what gear it is. You just hit the throttle and boom, you're taking right off. So the autopilot's the traffic aware cruise control. So I'm going to pull the stock towards me twice to activate it. You can see the steering wheel is highlighted in blue, and it's just telling me to keep my hand on the wheel. If I don't, they call them nags, but if I don't keep on responding to the nags, it will disable the autopilot till the next driving section. You can see it's doing a great job steering in its lane. I'm going to shut it off right now. So to shut the autopilot off, you can hit the brake, or you can push the, I think the cruise control stroke forward, and that will shut off the autopilot. So you just have to understand, when using autopilot, there are limitations. It's not the full self-driving. I do have the full self-driving in my Tesla, but driving both, the autopilot is still great. Even though I like my full self-driving, I'd be happy to have an autopilot, Tesla regular autopilot. So I'm going to put it on again. So it will stop for cars in front of it, but the autopilot's not going to stop for red lights, and it's not going to stop for stop signs. So you have to shut it off in situations like that. But when you're in stop and go traffic, and even though like Pacific Highway and things like that, if there's cars stopping in front of you, you can run on autopilot for a long time, believe it, or not. And even complex situations like this, let's see how it handles it. This is not full self-driving, but the autopilot is handling these steering situations very nicely. It's great. You wouldn't believe the mental workload, and it's just nagging me again to keep my hand on the wheel, which is a good thing. But you would be surprised the mental workload it releases. It takes a lot of mental workload just to keep your car in the lines on the highway. The autopilot really does help, driver fatigue. And if you do long slogs in the highway and stuff like that, miserable stop and go traffic, the autopilot will definitely be a godsend. And I'm gonna put my foot in the brake. That just shut off the autopilot. We're gonna take a turn here. And then if I'm on this road here, it's not the full self-driving, but you just get it pointed in where you want to go. Oh, sometimes it's a little bit picky. There we go. And there we go. I got the autopilot on again. So the autopilot is very nice. I'm still paying attention. I'm looking around, making sure, because sometimes you know it gets a little confused. So that's why you have to pay attention for those times where it gets confused and has a hard time. But all those situations where you see people hitting police cars or fire trucks on the side of the road, they're not paying attention, because obviously if they were paying attention, they put their foot in the brake and they'd stop the vehicle if that's the case. So obviously, if you use autopilot properly, it's a great system, and it makes the vehicle safer. Statistically speaking, you driving a vehicle on autopilot, the accident statistics, doctor, they're far lower. I think a vehicle operating on autopilot averages like one accident, I think it's like every 2-3 million miles driven. It's very low. Well, that pretty much sums up our little drive here in this Tesla Model X. Thanks for joining me. Hope to see you soon, and have a wonderful day.